Okay guys, doing some modifications to the 900 this morning. Putting my electric 3-point on here today. This is the same one I've had forever. It's been on 3 different Rangers, I think, and then it was on that S10. It goes in the 2-inch receiver, and this is a Polaris Hitch. I'm not sure if they make hitches anymore. I mean, you can get these electric 3-point hitches that go in the receiver. I've seen them online, but this is actually a real Polaris one. I believe it was made for a ATV. I welded the 2-inch receiver on here. Apparently there's some sort of mount that goes here when it was on the ATV, and then there is mounts up here. And probably what I'll end up doing here is making a plate or something here, and then I'll make a bracket here, and I can connect it to the top of this hitch just to make it a little more solid. It's pretty darn solid where it is right now, but I ain't gonna do that now. I'm getting ready to button this thing up and go out and give it a test run. I had to do the wiring. This is the wiring. It's run down along the frame there, and then it goes into the battery place, I guess you'd call it. And it's just positive and negative connection, and then you've got the remote right here. This all came with it. And there's an up and a down. The harness came with it. I have extended the harness because, like I said, it's been in a bunch of different vehicles, so I did extend the harness, but that's pretty much all I've done. It looks to me like it's a Polaris deal because it's got one of these on there, and a lot of the Polaris accessories have them little pouches or something. But anyway, I'm just gonna put my cover back on, and it's gonna come out right there, and it'll be in the cab. And then what I usually do is I kind of hold on to this, and I run it up and down, kind of like a handheld thing. You can screw that down, or if you wanted to, you could just run a regular switch, I think. So I've just used that. It's just easier. So I got it all buttoned up, all wired up, fairly neat enough for the wiring. So I'm going to button this thing up, get the plastics back on there, and going to go hook it up, see how bad she squats. It probably ain't gonna handle as nice as that 6x6, but I stood on the hitch there and it didn't squat too bad, but we'll see, I guess. Okay, so it's times like these I wish I had my 6x6 back. The independent rear suspension isn't going to handle the weight of that blade. I had the same trouble when I had 2010 like this, 800. So what I'm going to have to do here is I'm trying to get some more height. And how I'm going to achieve that is I'm going to move the shock mount. There's a mount on the inside there, and there's a shock mount on the outside here. I'm going to move it to the outside. I believe that should help with the weight, help handle the weight, and it should, I believe, raise the machine up just a tad bit. I'm going to do that with both sides, and we'll see what I come up with. It's just one bolt that holds the shock. I'm just going to unbolt it. I got it jacked up and move it around to the other side. Okay, so this is starting to turn into a job here. In order in order to move the shock to the outside hole here, you got to loosen up the sway bar to allow the suspension to drop enough to be able to move the shock from the inside of the frame to the outside of the frame. Okay, it's pretty easy though. It uses the same 15mm socket to loosen up the sway bar. So it's not that bad, but it's just a little bit of a struggle. So after I did that, I gained about 1/2 inch of height, moving from the inside hole to the outside hole. And I think because the shock is more straight up and down, it's going to carry the weight better. It might give you a more stiffer ride, but I kind of need it for holding up this blade. So independent suspension, they ride pretty smooth anyway. Next thing I'm doing here is that is with the shocks. They were on the softest setting. Okay, I can get a shot of that without getting the shadow. This is an adjustment for your spring here. It's like a preload type deal. The more you move this deal, the more you turn this deal this way. Right here is the stiffest setting you can put the shock on. Okay, over here, this is the softest setting, and that's where it was from the factory, right there. I moved it 1-2 clicks. Okay, this is what I'm going to try right now. To move this collar in your toolkit, when you buy your machine, you got this spanner wrench. This is the tool. Okay, this is how you're going to turn this adjustment. You never want to turn this with the weight of the machine on it. Always jack the machine up. If you got an older machine, I like to use a little soap and water, kind of spray it in there, kind of clean it out, get it kind of lubricated with some water, soapy water, because these can break. I've seen people break these, so it can be done. So here, this one is on the softest setting again from the factory. I'm going to go 1-2 clicks. This wrench here, you see these notches in there? There's a notch there, and there's a notch there, and there's notches all the way around. Well, you take this part right there, and you stick it in the notch, and you're going to turn it. Now, I like to put a little bar on the end of this, help me get some leverage on this so I don't slip off and bust my knuckles up. I'll set you up here, see if I can't show it to you. Okay, so hopefully you're going to be able to see this. I got to get in a notch, and I'm going to turn this just nice and easy. There's one notch. And there's 2 notches. So that's where I'm gonna give it a try here on 2 notches over. I believe this is what I had to do to my 800 to get it to handle this blade. So we're gonna give that a shot. Okay, so basically what this adjustment is doing is, like I said before, it's going to stiffen up the suspension. It's putting more pressure on this spring, so you're going to get more load capacity and probably a stiffer ride, but that ain't going to matter to me. So basically, after moving the shocks to the outside, giving myself 2 clicks on the preload, I basically gave myself 1 inch of lift. Okay, it was about 32.5 inches from the ground to the top of this box. Okay, the other side was a little taller, but now I'm 33.5 inches on this side and a little more on the other side, because they're usually not the same on each side for some reason. So I've got myself an inch of lift basically for free. I mean, you can go more. There's more clicks. I think there's 2 or 3 more clicks on that. You're going to get a stiffer ride, but you probably can get another 1/2 inch, maybe a little more out of that. So, and actually the front's got an adjustable shock too. You can move that to the outside mount. But that's another day. Right now, I'm trying to get that blade on the back of here. So let's give this a try. I'm going to go hook it up, and I'm going to see where I'm at. Okay, so we're off the ground. I mean, we're not very far off the ground, but I think that's my actuator. My actuator keeps falling down. I need to get that heavier dutier one in here, because this one's shot. I think it just won't hold it up. I can hold it and it'll go up higher, and then it'll fall down. So this side's a little better than that side, but it's off the ground. I'm probably gonna have to go all the way as stiff as I can on the spring adjustment to be able to handle this this rear blade. They do have suspension locks, I think. That's what you're supposed to do. It's deals. They bolt on your control arms, and you put a bar on there. Pretty much, it just locks the suspension from moving, and it makes it easier to run. Something like this on the back, which I may have to do if I make it all the way stiff and it still won't raise it up. Plus, I'm not going to do anything until I get my new ram on here, or my new electric actuator, because I think it can handle it fine without a suspension lock. But I'm off the ground here now, so I can do a test run and grade the gravel here in front of the shop. We've had quite a few rains here, and we got some washouts going on where they always wash out over there. So I gotta get some equipment out of the way here, and I'm gonna get to grading here. Okay, so I would consider that a successful test run. Looks pretty darn good to me. I've said it before, we do need to kind of top dress this with a little bit more gravel. But worked out pretty good. A few more tweaks here and there. And this should work out just fine. Doesn't handle the weight quite as nice as the 6x6, but it's not like I do this every day, so I'll get it a little better here. And I need to get that new electric actuator on there because I think it's just not raising it as high as it used to raise it. So we'll get that on there, and I think we'll be good. So I guess that's the end of this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And me and the dog are gonna enjoy the beautiful weekend here. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Trucks jacked up, flat bills flip back. Yeah, you can find us where the party's at. This is how we roll.